I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
Noir and Noir basically has a couple different meanings. To me, like it's in French, it means black man, black woman, like the male version and black feminine. But for me, it really means black excellence. It started off as ball noir because that's what it means, blackballed, to be blackballed. And that's why I started the brand off as. But it kind of like how Rockefeller moved to Rock Nation. Years as I started evolving, it started moving towards not just basketball events, but luxury events and more merchandise with coding in it and a storyline in it as well and a message. I wanted to do something more neutral where even if you didn't play basketball, you didn't have to associate yourself with it. So that's what I see was kind of planted in. And so we moved to Noir and Noir. And the part of Noir and Noir that's so important to me that everything I do, I try to tell a story with it, especially with my merchandise. I have my King's my King's crew necks and shirts, the Queen stuff. I got my new stuff that comes out with like the Nipsey Hussle stuff on it and the Kwame Nkrumah stuff on it, etc. That is the King's other shirt with like Malcolm, Martin, Mandela, all those guys on it. Just want to tell a story of our history and make people look at things and they can identify with power in it.
Hey, I like that you make sure that you have meaning behind all of the shirts too. Like it's nothing that's just, pointless. Everything has like specific stories with it too.
Right, 100%. 100%. I appreciate that. That's kind of like the goal with everything because I want to leave a timeline. I want when you go back, like, how there's some albums or some music that when you hear like, oh, I remember when I was here when I heard that song or when I heard that Blueprint album. I remember where I was at. I want to have a timeline like, I remember when I went to this concert and I got that merch. Well, I remember when I bought this shirt and I wore it there because the message behind it was this and someone walked up to me and asked me this. So it's like starting conversations within the storyline.
Mm-hmm. And that's really, really powerful and really impactful. And it just ingrains that brand feel to you because I'm pretty sure there's times where people remember their first pair of J's or remember some shoes that they wore somewhere and they had that same type of feeling of just nostalgia. So it's really like you're ingraining that within your brand.
Yes, that's what it is.
And I kind of want to talk about what does it look like to throw luxury events? Like, what exactly is that?
So for me, I partnered with Remy Martin for almost about 2-3 years in Houston, Texas, New York, and Toronto. And luxury events would stem from, we want like an invite only, maybe black tie, maybe just a dinner of not just influencers, but people that want to become upper echelon. Or we have a group of people that is maybe a friend's birthday, but you want to have exclusivity. So we'll have it we'll curate this whole experience for them. So when they leave, they're like, you know what? That was a different experience. That was a whole different vibe I've never been to. So that's where like the basis of the luxury events came from. And I started curating by fluke. I put together a basketball event in Houston, Texas called JH Town Weekend. And from there, I had all these other side events that I wanted to curate for the weekend. And I met up with Remy Martin. They're like, you know what? We'd love for you to like just start curating these events for us throughout the whole year. And it went from one thing, and I had pretty much a 3-year run with them doing these events.
That's what's up. So can you talk more about like that partnership deal with Remy Martin? Like how did that like really like come about, and like how did those type of deals work? Like how do you get a sponsorship for your events?
Well, the way it works is your event has to be able to tap into a value that the market needs or that brand needs. And what they needed our demographic, but in an exclusive setting. They needed our demographic, not in a setting where it just looks like we're in the club, in a setting where it looks like it's too loud for people to hear a conversation. They needed our demographic or our aesthetics to look like we're actually doing things with our time. That people are in here and they're in here trying to build a network and build cultural currency with each other or cultural capital with each other. And that was the biggest thing. I was able to show that I can do that. Like I was the man with the plan. Like, listen, I'm not going to come to you guys to ask you questions. I'm going to come to you guys to give you the plan, how it's going to look. And you guys provide the product and you guys provide the monetary side of it. So it was not like a partnership deal where I went to them with like, hey, how can we do this? No, I had a plan. I said, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to have this person hired for that. I'm going to have this DJ here. I'm going to have the aesthetic, the look and feel, black, gold, and blue. I'm going to make sure that person will be here. He's going to be my host, etc. And here's what it looks like. Now they got the vision. Now they got the vision. Their job's already done. I'll do the easy thing, give you the product, and give you guys some money to take care of it.
I love it. You coming with the value with that plan that's already set and laid out. This kind of speaks to something we talk about. Like when you have that vision already, you can fill the gaps. The money don't always have to be there. Like you can fill the gaps as long as you got the vision and it's laid out clear. So
100%.
I do want to hop more into God damn it. My mind be going places sometimes.
Well, if your mind going, I kind of want to go a little bit deeper into like just having that plan, because I see that a lot in our community. People will come to you and be like, you know, I got this idea, or hey, I would like to work with you. What you need, or like, how can I help? But that's not going to get anything done. And then once they get turned around, or it doesn't go through, they get really discouraged. Then it's like, see, this is why you can't do this. They're not looking out for me. Whenever they're not realizing this is a risk. If you came to Remy Martin without your plan laid out, this is a risk. Why would I give you this money?
Right.
What should I do that for? Same thing whenever you're trying to collaborate with people. Why? You have to really show them, okay, this is a minimal amount of risk. Some things could go wrong, but I have all of these contingencies in place already. I have all of these things taken care of, and now I'm giving you that value. Now I'm solving something for you. I'm giving you more than what you came in here anticipating for. Kind of like what you were saying earlier, you know, under promise over deliver.
Right. 100%. That you hit a nail on the head right there. I feel like the way people should come in is with their plan set out. You can't just come and ask people to help or what you need help for if you can't add value. So be attentive, be patient, like be a person that's going to be able to have a strategy set out. So when I come to ask you what I need from you, or what I want to help you with, is a plan there already, and then I have the plan and I have the vision that just in case you may not want that, I have the counter already set up, ready to go. Oh, you didn't want it in that venue? Well, I contacted this venue too. I was there. This the quote for them. Like you have to be able to have that ready on deck. If you got to be thorough. I'll say that you got to be thorough. You got to be thorough. You got to be ready to go at all cylinders.
Hey, I love it. And one thing I definitely wanted to pull out a key thing from there too that you said that I really liked was the fact that you had almost a niched event. With you doing it as luxury and making sure that it was going to be something that was upscale, and you then targeting like a liquor brand like Remy Martin, you came and you already had that niche feel to it, to where it was like, oh, okay, y'all do upscale, I'm doing upscale. Let's make this work together. Versus, you know, somebody coming in and they didn't need that club feel. You know, if you were just trying to throw a regular club promotion party, it wouldn't have worked. But by you niching down and setting up something specifically with that upscale, you got the partnership a lot easier.
That's everything right there. Being able to observe, pull back, be patient, and then add the value to what they need. So if I'm paying attention to their branding, I'm seeing maybe Hennessy is okay with people popping their bottles in the club. Maybe Remy Martin, the way their bottle is shaped and their aesthetic, they're not really looking for club. Maybe when they're looking for more upscale events. Okay, cool, perfect. Let me go curate this upscale event, look, feel, aesthetic, boom, 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 match it to theirs and bring it to them. Now, what are they going to say? They can't turn that down. So
this is already planned out. Hey.
Already planned out.
So, Antwi, I do want to ask, man, how is it like positioning and marketing like a luxury event? Like, you know, because I know you had a large network, a strong network of people, but like with these luxury events, how do you market something like that? Because I know you say it's like invite only, these types of things. Is it just leaning on a network type thing, or is it like there are different ways to target like people that would be in your audience, like a cold audience?
Right. Well, I think the best way to start when you're marketing a luxury event or exclusivity, if you're preaching exclusivity or you're promoting that, is to start with the people that you know and maybe have them have an invite one. Start with people that you trust and know and let them know what you're doing and have them bring one guest. When they bring that one guest, start small. Don't start with a group of 50. Start with a group of 15. Have them invite one guest. That's 30 people. Maybe 4 people don't show up. You have 26 people there. That extra person they brought, you build a relationship with them as well. Now, if that person is a single person, next time you have an event, they have an invite one as well. The same person you brought is invite one as well. Now you got 4 quality people versus having 1 or 2. And you build that way, like slowly but surely.
Hey, that's really dope. That's dope as hell. And I like how you said, don't go for big at first because it's an exclusive event, and you kind of want to make it kind of closed off and not able for everybody just come here.
Right. That's the biggest thing. People want to feel that niche feel like, oh, no one else knows about this. They love to feel that vibe.
So like with these types of events, do you start off as like free events, or like are you charging for these events? And like if so, if you're charging, like how do you price a luxury event?
For the most part, the charging wise is not kind of my thing. I try to have the brand I'm working with pay for like the participants who are coming or the crowd. Because people don't want to come to luxury events they have to pay for. They want to come for free. But after you've developed a reputation, or you've developed a brand of doing these luxury events, and now you want to maybe expand or scale up a little bit more, now it's okay if a price is associated with it because you have a track record of doing these things. So I would say, depending on the event, I would say sometimes it's $20 to $30 for a ticket, for admission, etc. But it's still a limited amount. It's still not just for everybody. Like there may be 25 tickets available, and they're going up at midnight, and they'll be gone by 7 a.m. Just their 7-hour window. If you're serious about it, get it. If not, we don't want to hear about it.
It's scarcity. That's
so smart. Like I really love the whole way you structured that, because in the beginning you're like, okay, cool, I don't have the name yet. Let me partner with a brand, come up with a plan that's gonna fit them specifically. And then after that, once they partner with us, we build up the brand, we get a name around us, and then people will be willing to pay for it.
100%.
And what was like your biggest event while doing that?
I would say I've done a major event in Houston called Afro Culture Weekend, where I partnered with Remy Martin, and I did that at the Four Seasons Hotel for the entire weekend. And it literally, Four Seasons turned into like Nigeria and Ghana for an entire weekend, and I know they're not used to that. So it was great to see like the look on their faces when everyone came in their cultural garments, and it was a beautiful thing. Like it was very welcoming. So I think that was like the biggest event.
That's dope.
Hey, that's really, really dope, man.
So I do want to ask, Antwi, like with COVID, you mentioned the Four Seasons, and it made me think about COVID again. Like with COVID, obviously, the event space like that, everybody had to make a pivot that was doing events. Like, so how did you pivot once COVID hit and you could like have in-person events like that anymore?
That's a great question. I've been doing events, luxury events, since 2017 all the way to 2020. So when COVID hit, that's when it's time to adapt and adjust and take those transferable skills from basketball, then from the luxury branding event space to my next venture, which was becoming a general manager. That's when that stuff hit. Like, you know what, I got to attack something different. And the events are not going to work right now because we can't really do events. It's like you're putting people in danger. So instead of that, I went to be an assistant GM and a GM, and I'm going to move towards more webinars starting in 2021. Do like events that are online, like to give back information and knowledge. Very similar to what we're doing now. Like I'm sure some people pull some information from this, and it's going to help a young brother or a young sister or anybody who wants to get into that space that they can't learn in school. School's going to teach you A, B, and C. I'm teaching how to get to point A to point C with leaving space of room to adapt, all in between.
Adaptation is key.
And I kind of want to ask for anyone who's thinking about like throwing an event or anything like that, what's a checklist they should have checked off in order to have a successful event? Because I've been over throwing events in college. I'm in the frat, and I know the stress of that, and I know how things could be overlooked. So what would be like a checklist to have a successful event?
Depending on the type of event you're throwing, the biggest checklist for me, I'll start off with security. The first thing I start off with security because I want to make sure everyone who comes to the event is secure. I want to make sure every single person that walks into that spot knows they're going to get there and get home safely. Especially when they get there, they're going to be safe. How they get home is usually under their control. I can't control that. But while you're at our event, you'll be secure. Probably the second thing on my checklist is the aesthetic and environment. How do I want the environment to look? How I want the aesthetic to look? What is our dress code? Do we have a dress code? Why is there a dress code? So when I have a dress code, I want to tell people, well, today we're doing black tie event because we want to show love to this. We're doing an all black party because of this. So now there's a reason behind it. So when they come, it's not like, oh, why you have me put on a suit when I usually wear sweats? So a third thing is I want to make sure, and I don't want to make this sound, I want to make sure the ladies have a great time. Everything I do, I curate towards our queens, because I feel like in everything in life, women are gods on the earth. They come from, like, that's where they call them in, like, they call them earth in different places, and they're kind of like the curators of our mindset. Regardless of how people want to look at it, we're visual and we're thinkers in terms of how we can provide better for a woman. So if the women are happy, the men are gonna be happy. Happy wife, happy. Exactly.
Happy life.
So, right. So that's another big thing I do, because the women make sure the party's having a good time. And the fourth thing I do, the biggest thing is, I think, promotion. Who are you promoting to? If you want to have your party to be, or your event to be, the best event towards one demographic, you better promote as much as you can to that demographic and some. Don't expect them to come, because if you are. That doesn't work. Promotion is very, very key, and marketing is very, very important.
Hey, and that last one, that's, like you said, that's very, very important, because we've definitely like had some flops and parties where we didn't promote as much, and you could tell, like, you can immediately tell the difference. It's just, just because we this, they're gonna pull up. Nah, you got to make sure that you put it in their face and that
Remind
they see
them a
it.
couple times.
Every time. Every
the
time
day of the event. Send that text out the day before, the day of, a couple hours before. Let people know. That's all it got to be. You got to be on it like that.
I love it.
So, like, when you're getting people to sign up for these events, like when they RSVPing and stuff, they're like, you sending out just a form, or like, because I know you're saying it's invite only. Like, how you collecting this data on people?
So that's a great question as well. A skill that I use is, usually when I do events, I'm curating events, there's different apps you can use. So when someone puts in their actual information, you actually give them back like a code or a bar. But within that, you give them like a message that tells them, thanks for, you've been chosen for this event because we view you as this and such, and we're thankful to have you. And once they read that, people be like, yeah, I'm thankful to come. Like that energy and that generosity that we give out, you're always reciprocated. That's my biggest key that I use. There's other tips I use, but I can't get that out right now.
Hey, man, understandable, my brother. We can't give out all the game.
Can't give it all, yeah.